welcome to episode number 14 of the Karen Knits podcast. My name is Karen, and I'm coming to you from South Central Pennsylvania in the United States, where I live, where I work, where I knit, and where I get into all sorts of other crafty projects and tend to run down all sorts of little rabbit trails. So this is primarily a knitting podcast, even though I will on occasion talk about a few other random crafty projects. But primarily this podcast will focus on knitting. I tend to try to keep my non-knitting content on the channel into separate playlists. So feel free to take a look at some of those other playlists and see if there's some other topics that might be of interest to you. So if you're here for mostly the knitting content, this is the place to be. The Karen Knits podcast is where we're at. So today we have a really dark, dreary morning here. It started raining yesterday afternoon. It's been raining all morning. It is supposed to be raining the rest of today and most of tomorrow as well. So we're having a nice dreary rainy weekend here. So we're able to spend probably most of the day indoors, although we're going out for dinner this evening over to a friend's place for dinner this evening, but we're able to stay indoors most of the day today, so that's good. But anyways, knitting podcast, not a weather podcast. I want to welcome any new viewers to the podcast. I appreciate you taking the time to come and visit and check me out. I want to say a big welcome back to all of my returning viewers. Thank you so much for coming back week after week to see what I have to say and see what I've been doing with my knitting. So, someone is impatient at the intersection, I guess, honking. Anyway, sorry about that. So I welcome you to grab a beverage, grab a comfy chair, grab your knitting or your crafting, whatever you happen to be working on, and sit back and let's spend the next maybe half an hour or so together and see what we're up to and just see what I've been working on knitting for the past week or so. Today I'm drinking just plain old regular black tea. I have some of my Advent tea calendar teas that I'll drink a little bit later on today, but they're the two that I need to open most recently are ones that are herbal teas and non-caffeine, so we'll stick with normal tea for the morning. This is my new coffee cup, teacup, whatever you want to call it, tea mug. I picked this up for $1 at the Goodwill store last week, so it's, I think, really pretty. And it's huge. Like I can fit 3 fingers easily into the handle, and I have large hands. So it's a big cup, so it holds a goodly amount of tea in here. So my newest addition to my tea mug. I guess it's not a teacup. Aren't those just the little dainty ones? Anyway, another rabbit trail. So I've done a lot of knitting this past week, but I have not, what's the way to put it? I don't have a whole pile of stuff to show you today. I've been knitting basically on 2 projects only this past week. And the first one is, just let me get my notes out here. This first one is my Advent scarf for 2018. It's a design that was put out by Trisha Weatherston. She is the designer and instigator of the Sock Madness group over on Ravelry. And each year she puts out an Advent calendar scarf pattern or scarf or a cowl pattern for anyone that's interested in participating. So we're motoring along. The first preliminary clue came out the beginning of November. Then the regular clue started coming out on, I believe it was the 24th of November. And we've had a clue every day since then. And we'll get clues up until the 24th of December. So I've fallen just a teeny bit behind, and I'll explain in just a moment when I show you my second project I've been working on for the past week why I've been behind. I have a deadline knit that has to be done by tomorrow. So it's getting close to done, but I still have a little bit more to do on it. But anyway, the Advent scarf is coming along. I'm up to date. I've knit everything up until the end of December 12th. So today is the 15th of December when I'm taping this. So I still have the 13th, 14th, and 15th. So I'm 3 days behind. So 15, 30, 45. I have 45 rows to catch up on. And I likely won't have a chance to work on that till tomorrow. So then I'll be up to 60 rows to catch up. So I suspect I'll be spending Sunday afternoon or most of Monday playing catch up on my Advent scarf. But anyway, here's where I'm at now. And my progress this week is from, let's get this hopefully showing up a little bit better on camera. My progress since I last showed you is from this orange marker. So each of these markers shows 1 day's worth of knitting. So this was December 7th, December 8th, December 9th, 10th, 11th, and 12th. So I'm going to put this a little bit closer so maybe you can see a little bit better. Hopefully that was mostly in frame and you were able to see what I was showing here. I'm still questioning whether maybe the yarn is a little bit too busy for the pattern, for the cables and lace in the pattern, but I'll decide for sure once it's blocked and once it's all finished. So I have a little bit of catching up to do on this. Just tell you a little bit about what I'm using on this. I want to put this aside without making too much of a mess. The yarn I'm using is a Knit Pick Stroll Sport Weight bare yarn that I dyed myself. I'm using 3 skeins. I'm about probably getting closer to halfway through the second skein. I will have to likely break into the third skein, although it's not going to take the whole third skein. I'll have some leftovers. So I think what I might do is I might make a pair of mittens or a hat to go with the scarf, using the last of the third skein once I get to that after Christmas. I dyed this myself. I am using 4.0 millimeter or US 6 needles on this, and the needles are from my Knitter's Pride interchangeable set, and I really like that. I really like those needles. I'm really happy I bought that set. Alrighty, and the second work in progress that I have on the go right now is a design that I am doing that is going to be something coming out in a publication in the near future. I am okay to be showing the design before the publication comes out. I'm just not allowed to have published it anywhere else and have anyone else have had the opportunity to get their hands on the pattern beforehand. So this is a heavily cabled lace and heavily cabled and lace sock design, and I'm making good progress. I don't recall where I was when I think I have showed you this on the podcast before. If not, then this is all new to you. And I'm happily moving down the foot now. And I have probably one more repeat to do on the foot, and then the toe decreases and it's done. And the deadline for this is tomorrow. So I really do have to keep cranking along on this and get the sample knit done before tomorrow is finished. So I have all afternoon today to work on it. Each repeat is 24 rows, so it's not a huge amount of knitting left to go. I probably have about 2 inches left on the foot plus the toe decreases. So I should be able to get this done. I shouldn't say I should be able to get it done. I have to have this done for tomorrow. So, like I say, the pattern is written up already. The charts are done up already. I just have to get the knitting finished and get the photographs done and get those inserted into the pattern as well. And then just get all of that sent off to the publication. So I'll keep you posted and let you know where it's being published and when it'll be available and all that good stuff. But for now, this is the reason why I am getting behind on my Advent scarf. So I need to make sure that I finish getting that knit up by the end of the day tomorrow, so that I meet that time commitment that I have. This episode might be a little bit shorter on content today. I want to talk a little bit about some recent acquisitions that I made, and what I'll do is I'm going to insert a couple little video clips in here to show a few of the things that I bought, because as you'll see in just a minute when I explain this, one of the things I can't really hold up and show you what it is, and the other ones there's multiple pieces. So I saw an ad for an online auction from an auction house that's relatively local to me. It's about 6 or 10 miles down the road, so about 15-20 minute drive from here. And anyways, a lot of what they do is they have estates that they close up, and they will, instead of bringing all of the items to the auction house, they will take the photographs and run the auction online and have individuals just bidding that way. So they'll take the photographs of the items in the setting where they lived. And so I saw an ad for an auction that was coming up in a nearby town, and I was looking through the things and I found that they had 2 spinning wheels for sale, or that were coming up for auction. So I did a little research on Ravelry, talked to a few people on Ravelry. One of the spinning wheels that was there, it was recommended that I pass on that one because it needed a lot of repairs. It didn't have the bobbin or the fly, so it would have needed a lot of work on it and a lot of expense to get it into running condition. The second spinning wheel that they had on auction the first one was a Saxony style, and it was missing some of the parts. That one actually ended up selling for $89, which, listening to some of the people over on Ravelry talking about that, to me seems like that was a lot of money for something that was going to require a lot of work. So the second one that was up for auction was a J. Farnham flax spinning wheel. And so this one is definitely an antique. It was probably made in the early to mid 1800s, so it's quite old. It has all of the parts, but it needs a little bit of work to get it into running condition. So I bid on it, and it ended up, it became mine. So I need to do some research on getting it cleaned up. It's in very nice, clean condition. But I need to do some research on whether I should be cleaning it, whether I should try to do some of the repairs myself, or if I should get someone to do it for me, and research how I would go about doing that. It needs to have the place where the fly and the bobbin attach to the mother of all. One of the little pieces where it's supposed to attach, that little piece of leather is not there, so it will need to have the old part removed, what's left of the old part removed, and the new part added in. So what's easier than sitting here yakking about it is I'm going to insert a little extra video in here where I'll show you what the spinning wheel looks like. I'll also leave the spinning wheel video as it'll also be a standalone video, probably with more detail, that I will post another video on YouTube or on my channel about the spinning wheel. But I will insert a little bit of a clip here so that you can see what I bought. So I'm really excited about it. I have to decide exactly what I'm going to do with it and get to it. So that's the spinning wheel. So I'll insert the video in here now. So here we have my J. Farnham spinning wheel. The other thing I bought at the same auction is they had a lot of miscellaneous items, and it had several things in there that looked kind of interesting, and there were quite a few things in there that I didn't see what actually was in the box of stuff they had. There was one item that I was really interested in, and I will include, again, I'll add a little video clip in about that one particular item. It looked like a bobbin and a wooden, what's the word I'm looking for? Frame or thing for it. And I was trying to decide what on earth it was, and that was the piece that caught my attention and got me bidding on that item. I didn't pay a lot for that, the whole lot, so I think it was like $7. So I ended up with 2 boxes of stuff. But anyway, I did a little bit of research on it, asked a few more people around Ravelry, and it is a ribbon spool for a wooden ribbon spool for a loom. And I didn't know what it was, and I found it really intriguing. So I will insert a little video of that item. So I have this item that I got at an auction recently, and I'm really curious about what on earth it is. It is 2 pieces, a bobbin in this little casing, and this wooden piece with a metal wheel or gear and 2 different tracks. It has, if you look at it this way, it has a number 20 carved or etched in here, and the number 103 down here. And the bottom of this has the shape where you can pop this in here, and it swivels back and forth either at this type of angle or at the other type of angle. So I'm curious. I don't know what this is. I don't even know if these metal bits come off. Don't want to break it. It has a tiny little metal loop with a small little hoop here. I'm not sure how clearly that's showing up. And I'd be very curious, if anyone knows what this is, please let me know. I'm completely stymied by it. And to be honest with you, when I saw the picture of the lot of everything in the auction, it was an online auction, this was the item that caught my eye in that lot. And this was the reason why I bid on this item, or this particular lot. And there were also a few other vintage or antique items in there. I'm not sure if they would qualify as vintage or if they're actually antique and over 100 years old. But anyway, there were a couple wooden bobbins, fairly large. There were a couple pair of scissors that were really, one of them in particular is a really interesting design. They're small little sewing type scissors. There was also 3 little pictures, frame pictures that were, I love them. I honestly don't know if they're that old or if they're just reproductions or what they are, but especially 2 of the ones I really like. They have stylized birds on them, and they're quite small. They're each, one of them is square and 2 of them are a little bit more of a rectangular shape, and they're quite small. And the other thing that I didn't know was in there, and I picked it up, or when I was going through the box and packing everything into the box to take home, there was an itty bitty teeny spinning wheel. Is this not the cutest little thing ever? So I was looking at it and I videotaped it. It's a pencil sharpener. Ah! I love that. That is just the cutest thing I have ever seen. So I love this. It is just the cutest little thing ever. It even has the distaff. It's a complete spinning wheel. There's the fly and the bobbin, all of the little pieces for the spinning wheel. So I just thought this was adorable, and it was something I actually, when I was looking at the picture with the lot of all the items in the lot, you couldn't see everything that was in there. But this was one piece that was in there that I didn't know was in there. So when I was going through and loading everything into the boxes I brought with me to take it home, I found this guy in there. So I thought that was just the coolest and the neatest thing ever. So anyways, I will insert another little video in here now that will show you the more interesting to me things that were in the lot of random stuff that I picked up at the auction. There were a bunch of other things in there that I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with them. There were some like ceramic type figurines and other things, and I honestly don't know what I'm going to do with some of them. I might put them up for sale on eBay and see if I can get a little bit of money back from that. I'm actually really leaning towards that. That's probably what I'm going to do with them. Or I might see if one of the little antique or vintage stores around in our area are interested in buying them from me or selling them as a consignment. I doubt they're worth an awful lot, but chances are I could probably sell one or two of the pieces and make more than $7 and get my money back from what I spent on the auction. But anyway, so those were the things that I won. Like I say, I will, I'm sorry, my nose is so itchy. I've inserted a video of some of the little extra bits that I won during the auction. I will also put a link down below with a video that I taped with all the stuff that was in the lot at the auction that I bought. So I will post a link for that. So if you are curious about what some of the other stuff was in there, you can pop over and take a look at that video. But otherwise, I say it's a little bit of a shorter episode today. It'll fill out a little bit more when I add a couple extra video clips in here of my goodies that I brought home with me. But otherwise, I think that's about all for today. I have to get those socks finished up today or by the end of the day tomorrow, so that I have it out to be ready for the publication. And then I'm going to get cracking on my Advent scarf and really get back to that and catch up and keep up. Once I've caught up with that, I will start working on probably another one of my knitting projects another one of my whips that I have kicking around the house. I'm thinking I might get back to working on my row cardigan. It's getting a little bit cooler out, quite a bit cooler out, and it's getting to nice big bulky sweater weather. So I'm going to want to start wearing my row cardigan soon. So I think that's the one that I will pick up, and I will really put a heavy duty focus on that over the next while, so that I can get that closer to finished, or finished actually, not closer to finished. So that's the plan for the next week. And I think that's about it. I'm going to go and get some more knitting done on the sock design, and I'll get the editing done on this video clip. I'll insert the extra bits in here, and I think that's about it for now. Thanks for spending a bit of time with me. I hope you take a second. If you have not yet, please subscribe to my channel. Please click the little bell. I don't know which corner it's in. I have a 50-50 chance of guessing the wrong corner that it's going to be in. But if you click the bell icon, it will let you know when I posted a new video, whether they're my knitting podcast videos or some of my other videos that I post as well. So click the bell, like this video as well, please. And I look forward to seeing you all next week. Catch you later. Bye now.